Hello everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me today. I have a couple of earrings kits or a couple of earrings projects to show you. But first I've got it already all laid out. We're gonna be making a necklace, and this is gonna be using most of the beads from the Shoreline bead mix from Jesse James Beads. And I purposely left out the clear crystals and some of those really light blue. They have that AB electro, they have that AB finish, and they're just absolutely gorgeous, and I want to go ahead and use those. But what I have out here are all of the cream, well, most of the cream and kind of blush colors, and it looks like I'm going to probably have to start over on this end because it looks like I kind of messed up over here with all of my placements. But just for those of you that watched my last video, I lost a crimp tube, a 2x2 crimp tube. I found it. I'm cleaning up and I found it. And then I found some random, jump ring. All right, so we're going to be using some wire guards because I am going to string this directly onto a toggle. I'm going to use a toggle clasp in the back. I know that these are absolutely gorgeous, and you like to focus or have these be a focal of a necklace, but on the front, and then also too as a bracelet. But I'm going to use this as the back. Not everybody wears their hair down around their neck, and some people like to pin their hair up, especially if you're at the beach. You might have your hair pinned up, you might have it in a ponytail behind underneath a hat or something. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use a toggle clasp on the back. I am going to use some of this Champagne Extreme Flex Medium metallic flex wire from Softflex Company. This has rose outlet on here because when there was a batch of wire that they made champagne, but they thought the color came out more like their rose gold. They had a rose gold limited edition, or I don't know if it's limited edition or if it's always, but I feel like we got it in a kit or part of a trio, metallics trio or something. But this color didn't come out to the champagne color that they're used to. And it's a little bit darker. I still love it. I still use it. That's why I got it. And they have this available at a real reduced price. And so I was able to snag up a bunch. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. And we are going to expose the wire. I'm going to work from the spool when I do this, but the first thing I want to do is I am going to have a little focal piece down here at the bottom, and I just have a head pin that I got from my wire and findings box in gold from Jesse James Beads. I got this on Walmart's website. We are gonna need some round nose pliers. These are Softflex round nose pliers, and I absolutely love them. They have a nice long handle for my larger hands. I have some flush cutters. These are Tronics, and I like them. And I have some Beadalon chain nose pliers. I do like those too, and some bent chain nose pliers that we will use for wrapping. So we're gonna go ahead and do that first. And then we have two pairs of earrings that we're gonna use, and I'm gonna expose how I did the unthinkable. I wire wrapped too close to a glass bead and I broke it. But these earrings are for my ears only, and so the ones that we're gonna make. And so I am going to, they're gonna be for me only, so that's okay. I am perfectly fine with that. Let's go ahead and get that pushed to the back, and let's get that centered up a little bit. And there we go. I'm gonna come in with my chain nose pliers and just go over the loop and just lock it in place just a little bit, just a hair, just to kind of lock it in. I'm gonna grab my bent chain nose pliers, and then I'm gonna wire wrap carefully 3 times around. And again, these are glass beads, so give yourself a little bit more room than you normally will. I didn't, because I didn't want my beads to move around, and I just cut it way too close. I need to just accept the fact that not every wire wrap or every pair of earrings needs to have non-spinning beads. I need to just get over it. All right, so there we go there. Then also from the findings pack, I'm gonna grab a jump ring. We have these 6mm jump rings in here. So I'm gonna grab one of these so that I can hang this off of the front. And something else that I'm bringing in that is not from the mix are, you'll see a couple of little seed beads. And these are for where I'm gonna hang this dangle from the front. And I don't want the wire from my focal to be directly sitting on my bead seating wire. So I'm going to go ahead and add a jump ring, and with those seed beads, this will sit on top of those seed beads perfectly and not damage the wire. Okay. And also too, when you hang something, when you're using wire, you have an open jump ring, you don't want it to fall through either, even though this is pretty thick. All right, so now something else that we need to bring in are magical crimpers. So we need to have some magical crimpers. And I'm actually gonna start on this end only because I guess I kind of messed up over here too. I feel like half of it, like I said, I did something wrong here, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead, let's go ahead and just start here and get this all strung up. These gorgeous, look at those gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous crystal rondelles. Beautiful. And I love these are so pretty, and they have that gorgeous finish that I love, and the facets are just, it's really unique. It looks very unique, and I love it. Using some of those little spacers, those little kind of small donut spacers. Very pretty, and I feel like, okay, we're all straight. Let's go ahead and get these strung on here. And then we'll see too. Well, because we'll double check. This is just such a gorgeous mix. Now, if you want to see this mix in its entirety, I am going to put a link in the description for the unboxing / reveal that I did with all of the mixes and strands from my Design Ambassador pack, which was absolutely gorgeous. I have so many fun things coming up here in the next maybe month and a half, 2.5 months as well. And if you have not heard, I am going to be part of summer camp this year. Isn't that amazing? I'm not going to be a camp instructor. However, I will be part of the Zoom call at the very end where we are going to be designing, and I'll be there with Trish, and we'll just have such a fun time with her and Sarah. If you didn't know, there was a create-a-thon, and I believe it was using the March or April, maybe the April Magical Mystery Bead Box, and I had such a blast. Sarah did, she actually did a project too, which was super fun, and I was not expecting that. She also did share that the earrings that she was actually wearing were earrings I made. I thought that was super, super cool. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going. And so summer camp is coming up in August. And again, star-studded lineup on the designers. I know that Nile is going to be there, and I am so, so, so excited. Whenever I can see that Nile is part of an event, I absolutely love it. And if you saw if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my little 3-year-old granddaughter and she was helping me ship some goodies over to Nile. And so we had a blast with that. We took a picture and I texted it to him before I posted it, so he saw it before I posted it. All right, so here we go. So here's our necklace. And what we're gonna do is let's just make a little quick little rundown, make sure everything is okay. And that looks fine. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to, I'm not going to not cut it off, but knot it or do anything here with a crimp tube to keep it stabilized. I'm gonna let it be free flowing when it's on the neck. But what I am going to do is I'm going to grab one of the crimp tubes. I'm gonna grab one of the wire guards. I am gonna use a wire guard just because if I can protect the wire, extend the life of the piece, then I'm gonna do that. All right, so now let's see. This is gonna go over here. I'm trying to think of how someone would be putting it on. All right, so now let's go ahead and pass that back through. I am so sorry if I have not been on my camera. And I move this all around all the time. And so then I go off centered. I need to get one that is larger so that you can't tell when I go to completely off centered. I come in and just bring the wire guard ends closer together. And what I do is I use the front notch of the regular standard crimpers just because they're a little bit rounded, and I feel like I'm not damaging the wire guard by doing that. Okay, so now here we have that. And with the Magical Crimpers, it has the one well. And so what you want to do is you want to get that crimp tube right in the center of that well and give it a squeeze. And when you give it a squeeze, you get the 4 corners. So you get the 4 corners there, right? Then you turn it on its side. Try not to get that toggle in there. And then you're just gonna go ahead and crimp down. Then what I do is I just start kind of going around the horn, go around the bin. And I can tell that I still have some tension because when I am crimping, I can feel that I'm kind of moving the, I can see that I still have some room within that crimp. Plus I have a toggle on here too, and so that gets in the way, but there we go. We have that nice bead-like finish. Then what I want to do is I want to come in as close as I can. And actually for these, my Xuron cutters are a little bit better on this wire. So let's go ahead and come in as close as we can to that crimp tube that now looks like a bead. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we need to do it on this other side too. But I need to see how long I want to make this necklace. Long. So I'm going to go about 15 inches and go just a little bit more out. And here's the other thing. The other thing about making it let it go free flow is because then I don't have to worry about, okay, did I get those sides even? Did I get that even with that side? I mean, it can happen, but it's just extra. I don't want to do that because I just want it to be free flowing. And when something is mine, I just make it the way I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. And then so I'm going to go ahead and put my toggle on. I'm going to put it on that way. And before you even kind of crimp down, I would just put it on, and that length is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that crimp tube back up. There we go. Let's go ahead and bring that wire guard, bring those ends together. It is a little more difficult when you've got toggles in the way and stuff, but you just see it just tapers down better. I don't know. I could just be making this up. It might not matter. Does it matter to anybody? I don't know. All right, so let's just go ahead and get that in the middle there and give it a good crimp and hope that you get all 4 corners, and then you turn it on its side and then you just start going around until you get the bead-like finish. I'm getting there. I'm almost there. I feel a little bit of tension. Yep, there's still some. And get that turned. It is more difficult with the toggle being on there, but it's okay. I still feel a little bit of tension. Right now I don't. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get this cut off. I want to get this cut off as closely as I can so it doesn't poke at anybody. And there we go. And then look, we don't have that much waste. How much waste? Where's the other piece? I don't even know where the other piece is. That's very minimal. All right, and so now we just have a beautiful necklace. We are showcasing that gorgeous champagne-ish color of soft flex. It's free flowing, and we have these beautiful, beautiful beads and very beachy, very just, I just love all these colors together with the gold and with this champagne color, and it's just pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and put this off to the side now and bring in our other projects. Wait until you see these earrings. Oh, I love them. Oh, I didn't put the ear wire on. Okay, time out. Let me get the ear wire. I really messed that one up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that and get this guy on there. Look at this earring. Isn't that pretty? So I'm using one of the shell charms. Again, this is from that bead mix. Look at that chunky rondelle. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so pretty. I used one of the Pringle spacers. I used a pearl. I used one of the bead caps, and I used one of those small kind of blush looking colored rondelles. And it just is beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. I cannot wait to wear these. So we're going to bring in some wire, and you know me, I like to minimize the waste, and so what I did was I have my long piece here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack my, so if I was working from the spool, pretend this is a spool, it was part of the spool, I'm going to go ahead and stack in backwards order. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put this guy on, and this guy, and this chunk-a-munk. Oh, I love it. All right. Oh, wait. Where is my potato chip? I don't have my potato chip. Well, let's grab one out of here. Beads. All right, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just make a simple loop, and then this just goes down to the bottom. So if this was a spool, you would just have it there on the bottom. We're going to come in about here. We don't need a large loop, and we're just doing a simple loop, and then we'll go ahead and get that off there like that, and there we go. Let's get it opened up, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very embarrassed with I'm already thinking about the next project because I'm really embarrassed about what I did. And that just flew in. I have the windows open. All right, so now how do I have this? I have it like that. Let's go ahead and get that on there. So embarrassed, but I have to show you. Okay, so here we have that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a wire wrapped loop. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to come in with our chain nose pliers, and we don't want it to be super duper tight. We don't want to break any beads because that's where I was going. That's what I did. So embarrassing. Go ahead and rotate your wrist, and let's get that pushed over to the back. Let's go ahead and get that centered, and there we go. We're all centered. Let's come in with our chain nose pliers. get that locked into place. And since I have so much here, I'm going to just go ahead and use my fingers and form that around and get that all put together. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and get that trimmed. We have a nice size piece that we can use for something else. We can use it for a dangle or use it for anything. Let's go ahead and get this pinched in a little. There we go. Let's open up. These are those angular ear wires. Love them. I had some, didn't know where I got them from, and then I think I mentioned it in a video and a viewer responded and told me where to get some. Aren't those pretty? Those are so beautiful. I love the shell charms. I just love all the colors, and I can't wait to get this pictured. And so I'll get a picture of that with the necklace and see how it looks together. All right, now for our last project. I'm going to show you what I did. So embarrassed, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't focus because look at what I did. Look, is it focused? Can't see. I chipped it because I was trying to get too close. All right, so let's go ahead and get my ear wire on. I did not get the ear wire on. These ear wires I got from Jesse James Beads too. I really, really, really like them. All right, okay, so this is what we have. We're gonna wire wrap on one of the teardrop beads from that bead mix onto one of the quick links. These little bead-along quick links, very cute, I love them. You can get that at Jesse James Beads as well. And then we're going to do a simple loop down at the bottom, and then we're gonna use one of these rondelles and one of these gorgeous blue beads. And I thought that just looks so pretty all together. So first thing we're gonna do is we have one of our head pins. This one I think is a bead-along head pin from Jesse James Beads. And we're gonna go ahead and get that strung on just like so, okay? Now what I did was I probably went a little too close to the tippy tip, so we're gonna come out just a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and, cause these are thick, and so we're gonna go ahead and come out and give it that 90-degree angle bend. So we have the 90-degree angle bend. We're gonna grab our round nose pliers and we're gonna form over the top. We're gonna hold on to that and rotate and then push to the back and get that all nice and centered. Before we do anything else, we're gonna open up a little bit. You can use your fingernails. I prefer just to use my, chain nose pliers, and then go ahead and get it closed back up. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in with the tippy tip of our chain nose pliers, and it gets a little tight in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and lock that in and just make sure that that first wrap goes around the tip of my chain nose pliers. Go ahead and wrap once, wrap twice. This is where I got myself in trouble last time. And then go all the way to the back. And the back is gonna be like this, like in the back here. So we're going around like 3 1/4. We're gonna come in with our cutters and be very careful because you can mess up your beads even with your cutters. And just wanna make sure I get that without nipping at either that or my cutters are getting really bad, or I'm just real paranoid about nipping at the bead. So I'm gonna come in from the back side, maybe go that way. Maybe that's what I was doing. I just don't feel like I got it down in there tight enough because I don't want it to show on the other end. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna try it still. It's just not wanting to get in there close. Because also too, I don't wanna cut the loop either. You know what? Let's go over to these cutters and see if these cutters can get in there. Because those, yep, those got in there. These guys I've had since the beginning. So I've had these, what, 3.5 years now. So maybe in tight quarters, they're starting to get a little finicky. So let's go ahead and be very careful. That wasn't me cracking the bead. That was just me on the tail and then slipping onto the rest. Okay, so now we have our, and it's pretty. If it actually doesn't move. All right, so now we've got that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our wire. This was just a scrap, and I do have a good flush cut on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that made up here and make an eye pin. Make that nice and straight, and there we go. We're gonna open this up. It actually doesn't look very straight. Now it does. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. I am gonna use this so I can make sure I get that on there. Perfect. And let's go ahead and get this closed up and make sure it's nice and in there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just going to make it straight again. All right, now what we're gonna do is we don't have any spacers, we don't have anything. This is just the beads and the wire. So that's all we have. And this is going to be the back. Let's go here. Let's put this guy on. Isn't he cute? I love this one. And I think there's some facets in there too on that top one. All right, so let's go ahead and again, just be very careful. You do have glass beads there, so I'm just gonna come up a little bit more. Also, I'm just a little more sensitive now that I know that I broke one. It had been a long time since I snipped off a piece of the bead. But again, I was doing this really late last night. And yeah. All right, there we go. So then we got that pushed to the back. You can see that it's a little, it's not real tight in there, but I'll be able to get to that with my little trimming because it is tight, but it's still moving, so it's okay. So I know that I have a little bit of room there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm coming in and I'm gonna go on the side and I'm just gonna push down a little bit and there we go. So I still had a little bit of room and now I'm just gonna push on the back and there we go. Okay, and now we have our wrap loop. Everything looks all nice and tight. Let's go ahead and open up our ear wire, thread that on. Let's get that back down there. Get that threaded on. Did I get that on there? Perfect. And there we have our second pair of earrings. And again, very beautiful beachy colors. Oops. And just really super cute. I love this mix. This is the Shoreline mix that I used. I used some of those Bead Along quick links, so I will add that to the list. And I'm gonna include in my list, and yes, I am just copying and pasting from prior videos using these mixes and what I got in that reveal with the new bead mixes and strand. The reason why is so that you can go back, you can look at the reveal video because I'm gonna have that linked directly in the description, and you just have one-stop shop when it comes to being able to find everything. And I will add the other videos that I used making other pieces. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Be sure to leave me a comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.